Namaskar children. Today's topic is limitations of joint stock company. So here we see that what are the disadvantages to manage a joint stock company. Though the joint stock companies can afford to manage business on large scale with the help of professionals with specialized expertise, but there are many limitations which come as a hindrance while conducting business activities as a joint stock company. So first we see that what is the first limitation or disadvantage of a joint stock company. The first one is legal formalities. The procedure of formation of company is very long, time consuming, expensive and requires lot of legal formalities to be fulfilled. Why is it so? Because incorporation of a company requires lot of documentation and legal formalities. It is quite technical, time consuming and expensive. One has to have proper knowledge of all the procedures before starting the process of company formation or appoint professionals to complete the formalities. Number of documents are required to be made. Those documents are memorandum of association, articles of association. These all legal formalities further will be there in your chapter number 7, formation of a company. But these all documentation work is very long as well as time consuming. Some kind of specialized knowledge, expertise knowledge is also required to be there. So that's why the legal formalities to form a joint stock company is very complex. So this is the first disadvantage, or we can say the limitation of a joint stock company. The second limitation is lack of secrecy. The Companies Act requires each public company to submit lot of information. So that's why it is very difficult to maintain secrecy, because the company is required to publish it and file its annual accounts and reports. Such information is available to the general public also. So it is very difficult to maintain complete secrecy about the operations of a company. In these accounts, company is supposed to publish its all data, its all financial data. Means whatever profit or losses the company has bear, those are required to be published in front of the public, as well as what are the assets and the liabilities the company is having right now. Those all information are required to be published in front of the public. So that's why company cannot maintain the complete secrecy. So this is another disadvantage of a joint stock company. Now the next limitation is impersonal work environment. The large size of a company makes it difficult for the owners and top management to maintain personal contact with the employees, customers and creditors. When business is not managed by the owner, it lacks personal involvement and effort to achieve the best. Large scale of operations also makes it impossible for owners and management to have personal relationship with its employees, customers and other stakeholders. So that's why the connectivity among the owners and the management with their employees, with their customer is not possible. So that's why we can say that the companies, the joint stock company, have a very impersonal kind of work environment. That is also sometimes not that much healthy, which the companies expect. The next limitation is delay in decision making. Red tapeism and bureaucracy do not permit quick decisions and prompt actions. There is little scope for personal initiative. Now first we see that what is the meaning of the term red tapeism. Red tapeism means excessive formality and routine required before any kind of official action can be taken. Companies are democratically managed through the board of directors. Board of directors, those are the group of people who are given the responsibility to run the business activities. So companies are democratically managed by these board of directors, which is followed by the different levels of the management. So whenever any kind of communication as well as approval of various proposals may cause delays, not only in taking decisions but also in the implementation of those decisions also. Because number of levels are there, top level where the owners are there, middle level where the different managers are there, lower level where the different superintendents are there. So the information, the decisions making power remains in the hands of the top level. So it is a very time consuming type of process. So whenever any kind of prompt decision is required to be taken, that is not possible in the case of a joint stock company. Now we see that what is the next limitation, that is oligarchic management. Now first we see that what is the meaning of the term oligarchic. Here it is given in this point that company is said to be democratically managed. Democratically managed means the powers are there in the different hands, but actually managed by few people, and those are known as board of directors. When the power to manage remains in some of the hands, that is known as the oligarchic management. Sometimes they take decisions keeping in mind their personal interest and benefits, ignoring the interest of shareholders and company. Though the board of directors is elected by the shareholders and the shareholders have very little control over the running of the business. Most companies have large number of shareholders, is spread all over the country. Very small percentage of shareholders attend the annual meetings and discuss the decisions taken by the board of directors. So the directors have powers to take all important decisions. As a result, the decisions are influenced by their personal interest. And this is known as the oligarchic management, when the powers remains in the hands of some of the people only. That is known as oligarchic management. Now next is conflict in interest. There may be conflict of interest among various stakeholders of the company. Stakeholders means customers, employees, creditors. The employees, for example, may be interested in higher salaries. Consumers desire high quality products at lower prices. And the shareholders want higher returns in the form of profits. These demands pose problems in managing the company, as it often becomes difficult to satisfy such diverse and different interests. Okay, so on evaluation of the basic features of a joint stock company, it can be concluded that such type of form of organizations are suitable for large scale manufacturing or trading business operations, which not only require huge financial resources but also professional expertise to run business efficiently. So, revise these points, children, and in the next virtual class, we'll discuss about the difference between public and private company.